What is up, everyone, and welcome back to the Talking Sports Podcast right here on YouTube, Apple Podcast, and Spotify. As always, I am your host, Peter DiBiasi. As always, I appreciate you guys clicking on this episode, on this podcast. It's our fourth and final golf episode of the calendar season. We did a Masters preview, we did a PGA Championship preview, we did a U.S. Open preview, and now we have the Open at Royal Birkdale. The last time the Open was at Royal Birkdale was a handful of years ago, 2017, and that was won by Mr. Jordan Spieth. So we have a fun little conversation here going here. So let's see what we got for the Open preview. But before we do that, as always, follow us on social media at Talking Sports PD on X and on Instagram. Those are in the description as always, and as well as Apple Podcasts and Spotify. So make sure you guys click a link and subscribe to all our platforms as you can. Let's get right into this. So if you haven't been here around for our episodes or what we've done in the past, what we're doing here today is we're going to give you, or me, 3 top 20s and a winner that is going to win the Open. So we'll start with the 3 top 20s. We're going to give you a winner, and then we're going to start talking about some of the potential people and some of the odds we have. So let's get right into it with our first winner. I'll give you guys the odds. I'm recording Monday evening at the moment. This is coming out Tuesday, so odds obviously subject to change depending on what happens here. So the first one is Viktor Hovland at top 20. So Viktor Hovland right now is currently plus 138 to finish in the top 20 at the Open. So something with Viktor Hovland that's interesting, right? Like last year and a half, I don't think his golf game has been up to par or up to what when Viktor Hovland won a tour championship, like up to that standard of a level for Viktor Hovland. But as of late, the last couple months, he's really turned it on and turned into a really good golfer, right? Or a really good golfer once again. Last month, his accuracy off the tee with the driver has really improved. That is something that has really shaped his game. This past week at the Scottish Open, which is a great test. Like you have a lot of these previous major tests, and you don't see a real test leading into a major because one, maybe it's not a great tournament, or two, it doesn't fit what the major tournament course is going to outline or what it's outlining. You get the Scottish Open, and that's what we got last week. Scottish Open was great for Viktor Hovland. He finished T13, but at the Scottish Open, he gained 10 strokes tee to green, which ranked third in the field. So he gained 10 strokes over the rest of the field, tee to green, which was third overall in the field. His recent finishes, it's been a mixed bag, but not really. It's been a mixed bag out of one of the last 4 times he's taken his golf course to a tournament here. So T13 at the Scottish Open. That was last week. He won the Travelers. If you know, he beat Scotty Scheffler in the Monday playoff at the Travelers. He did miss the cut at the U.S. Open, so that's something to factor in. But he finished third at the RBC Canadian. So that's a T13. That's him winning the Travelers. It's a missed cut at the U.S. Open, but it's also a third at the RBC Canadian. He's also 15th in strokes gained around the green on tour this season. I think he's trending, at plus value to finish top 20. He's a lot of people's picks to potentially win this thing. I think he's trending in the right direction. You saw it by him winning. You saw the top 15 finish at the Scottish Open. You saw the top 5 finish at the Canadian Open. I think he's trending in the right direction, and I like him to finish top 20 at the Open. Also, he has experience to add, like the style, of course, that is Royal Birkdale, and that is what the Open is, right? You get the links golf, you get that kind of style, and you're going to be leaning towards my picks. You're going to be fit towards more of that, obviously, style of play. Moving on to the next top 20 here, and that is going to be Robert McIntyre to finish top 20 at the Open. Robert McIntyre was terrific. Via DraftKings plus 138 right now, so similar odds to what Viktor Hovland is, or when I say similar, exactly the same odds to what Viktor Hovland has. He was great at the Scottish Open and put himself in great position going into the 4th round. But unfortunately for Robert McIntyre, if you watch that 4th round on Sunday, his putter was just non-existent, right? Like he stayed in the tournament and he had a great 3 days, had a chance to win it on that Sunday and just didn't have the putter in order to win it. But he did ending up finish tied for third. So, he still played great. Just kind of took himself out of contention with his putter. Reading into some of his play recently, his irons are officially back. He gained 5 strokes on approach at the Travelers, and he also gained around 7 strokes on approach at the Scottish Open. So what we know for Robert McIntyre is his iron play is what keeps him in the tournaments, and it's been very up and down this year until recently at the Travelers and the Scottish Open. And we know, like I mentioned this for Victor Hovland, he plays well in these windy, tough potential conditions that we might see at Royal Birkdale. Links golf for you. Recent finishes, like I mentioned, he was T3 at the Scottish Open, T10 at the Travelers. Wasn't great at the U.S. Open for T39, but was T15 at the Canadian. So similar to Victor Hovland outside of winning the Travelers, he's played really well in 3 out of his last 4 tournaments and T13 at the Scottish. And then Robert McIntyre has been terrific at the Open. Last year at the Open, he finished T7. And a couple of the stats to kind of round out where Robert McIntyre has been this year is 9th in strokes gained putting this year on tour and 14th in strokes gained total. I lean towards his iron game and his approach game has gotten terrifically better or increasingly better in the last couple weeks. Travelers was great. Scottish Open even better. I think when you're heading to Royal Birkdale and you're heading to the Open, I think your approach game and your iron game is so crucial. And the fact that he's trending in that right direction when it comes to that, I think is massively important for Robert McIntyre. As I realize I spelled Robert McIntyre's name wrong. As we got to edit that should be an I. As that is my bad. But it happens. That's better. Robert McIntyre to finish top 20. I think he's been terrific this year. I think he's been terrific as of late. Has played well at the Open, and then obviously a T10 at the Travelers and T3 at the Scottish Open this past week. Coming into this week, I think he is building momentum, and he's at plus 138. So him and Hovland are my plus money picks this week to finish top 20 at both at plus 138 as of Monday night via DraftKings. I got one other top 20. He is minus money, and then I got my winner, and then we'll talk about some of the names potentially playing this week or that are playing this week that we can see potentially winning this. My next top 20, my final top 20, he's at minus money, like I said, Tommy Fleetwood. Right now, he's at minus 132. I still think he has some value there. His recent Open finishes, so this is not at Royal Birkdale, but at the Open, is a T16, a miscut, a T10, and a T4. So 3 out of his last 4 times he's teed it up at the Open, he's finished top 20, and 2 of those times he's finished in the top 10. He does have a miscut in there, but he's played well at the Open in 3 out of his last 4 times teeing it up here. I'm going to people that are playing well on tour right here. His last 5 finishes on the tour have all been top 15 finishes. T13 at the Scottish, T14 at the Travelers, T11 at the U.S. Open, T11 at the Canadian, and T4 at the Memorial. Last 5 times on tour, he's teed up on tour. He's finished in the top 15, and that is a recipe for success. This year, he's 20th in strokes gained off the tee, 3rd in strokes gained around the green, 4th in strokes gained total, and something that is fun. And if you listen to his press conference Monday morning, it's a home field advantage for Tommy Fleetwood. He used to sneak on the course when he was a kid and play a bunch of these holes. He knows this course. He's very familiar with this course, which is kind of the reason he's minus 132. He was almost my pick to win this thing. I really considered picking Tommy Fleetwood, and I think he has a legit chance to win this. We'll talk about his odds in a minute here, but minus 132 to finish top 20, including ties via DraftKings, I think is a hard bet to not take. I would strongly encourage it, but obviously I don't promote gambling. Okay, so the top 20s for this week are Victor Hovland, Robert McIntyre, and Tommy Fleetwood. You always do that. That's how we do it. 3 top 20s and a winner. Okay, who is winning the Open? The 3 major champions this year. Rory McIlroy won the Masters, Aaron Rai won the PGA, and Wyndham Clark won the U.S. Open. Who is winning the Open? The 2026 Open Championship winner will be Rory McIlroy. I think he gets his 2nd major of the year. I think he gets his 2nd overall Open. I think he gets his 7th major overall in his career. And I think he caps off a Masters to an Open ending with a little bookmark to end his year, a little bookend to end his year. So Rory McIlroy, I have winning the Open, 2nd best odds right now as of Monday night via DraftKings. He's plus 850. His last 4 Opens, T7, a miscut, a T6, and a T3. 3 top 10 finishes. and a missed cut. He's been great at this tournament. He puts himself in contention at this tournament. He's won this tournament. And I think that's important. And also, the last time the Open was at Royal Birkdale, and I get it. It's 2017, so take it with a grain of salt. We're in 2026. There's a lot of different golfers that are teeing it up now, and every game is different than if they're still playing that they were when they were in 2017. But just to take this into account, he finished T4th when it was last time was held at Royal Birkdale in 2017. Recent finishes on tour. It's interesting, right? Like I gave you the recent finishes for Victor Hovland, playing well. Robert McIntyre, playing well. Tommy Fleetwood, playing really well, right? As well as Victor Hovland with winning at the Travelers. This is a little different based off the fact that he hasn't played as much on tour this year, but his recent finishes on tour, T7 at the Scottish Open, he really could have won this thing, in my opinion, but obviously shout out to Tom Kim, who won the Scottish Open. He's definitely could be in play this week. But he was in position to win. He played great on Thursday, played great on Friday, played great on Sunday. He was just really shot a 73 on Saturday, kind of took him out of the position to win it, but still shot really well 3 out of the 4 days. If he was just kind of like around average or a little bit better than average, he might have won the Scottish Open, but he was T7 at the Scottish Open. Wasn't great at the U.S. Open T32, kind of blew up on the last 2 days. He was in a position to make a run after halfway through Saturday and then just kind of crumbled in that back nine and just never regained his form. Played well at the PGA Championship, T7 at the PGA, T19 at the Truist, and I know it's all over the place, and then he obviously won the Masters. He's going to be in contention. He's been in contention in the 3 majors this year. He's been in contention 2 of the 3 times and won one of them. The other one was T7 at the PGA, and he was in contention for about, I'll say 60% of the U.S. Open and then kind of tinkered off. If you watch the Scottish Open on Sunday, he had this approach shot that bailed left on him, and I think he had a quote of the week. He said, "Oh my God, I am so bad at golf." As that shot was going in. And obviously Jim Nantz had some fun within the fact that if Rory McIlroy thinks he's bad at golf, we're really bad at golf. He's first in strokes gained off the tee this year on tour, second in strokes gained total. He finished last week at the Scottish Open. He finished first in strokes gained off the tee at the Scottish Open, and he was third in strokes gained tee to the green at the Scottish Open. So he was really striking the ball well off the tee. And I think that's the most important thing with Rory here. If he can be accurate and he can be consistent off the tee, he's really hard to beat. And I think if he's just above average, he's really hard to beat. And then since winning the Open, in his last 9 starts since winning the Open, Rory has 6 top 10s in 9 starts at the Open. Yeah, I like Rory to win it this week. And so those are my picks. Let's quickly talk about some of the odds right now. So if you're looking at the odds as a Monday night via DraftKings, let me pull it up. Scotty Scheffler plus 620. He's coming off a missed cut at the Scottish. First time in a long time that Scotty Scheffler missed a cut, and he did. He's the favorite at plus 620. Rory at plus 850. And then it really teeters off after Rory. You got Rahm at plus 1750. Don't love that at all. I just don't know if Rahm is trending in the right direction at majors. You have Tommy Fleetwood. Like I said, he's the 4th best odds at plus 1800. I think he's a good bet. I think Matt Fitzpatrick at plus 1850. Xander Schauffele at majors is always a good bet, plus 2500. Goddard at plus 3100. He's playing really well. Just won the John Deere 2 weeks ago. He's an interesting bet. Cam Young at plus 3100. I've seen people kind of cool on him. I mentioned Victor Hovland as my top 20 pick. He's plus 3,300. Hatton, Morikawa, McIntyre plus 3,600. You can't count out Justin Rose. Then you got Bryson DeChambeau at plus 5,300. Does he make the reverse Grand Slam? He's missed every single cut. Missed the cut at the Masters, the PGA, and the U.S. Open. Does he miss the cut at this year's Open and make it 4 missed cuts? He's plus 5,300. You go back to the Masters, you see top 3 odds, top 4 odds. I think he probably the third best odds to win the Masters. Now he's all the way in a loop with Minwoo Lee. He has the same odds right now as Minwoo Lee and Justin Thomas at plus 5,300. Better odds than Bryson DeChambeau this week is Russell Henley, Sam Burns, Siwoo Kim, Rose, McIntyre. Obviously, those guys have been playing much better on tour. Rose is an interesting pick. Shane Lowry at plus 6,000 is always intriguing at the Open. People love J.J. Spawn this week, a little bit of a sleeper. He's plus 7,200. Aaron Rai plus 7,200. Jordan Spieth won here the last time. It was at Royal Birkdale plus 7,600. But if we go back to the top, right, like I mentioned, Scotty at plus 620, Rory at plus 850, which is my pick. And then it teeters off to Rahm plus 1,750, Fleetwood plus 1,800. and then Matt Fitzpatrick at plus 1850, and then it goes all the way back to Xander Schauffele. So there's a top two, next three guys, and then it kind of drops again. Top two, Scotty, Rory. Next 3 to 5 is Rahm, Fleetwood, and Fitzy, and then it goes to Xander, Goddard, Cam Young, Oberg, Hovland, and Morikawa, all kind of in the same relatively odds. There's actually 4 tiers here, I would say, in my opinion, for people to win it. It would be Scotty and Rory in tier 1, based off the odds. Rahm, Fleetwood, Fitzy in tier 2, Xander by himself in tier 3, and then Goddard, Young, Oberg, Hovland, Morikawa, Hatton, McIntyre are in the next tier, and then following that would be Rose, Wyndham Clark, Siwoo, and Sam Burns and Russell Henley. It should be a fun one. The Opens are always different. It's unique. It's something that we don't always get to see just because we're used to the American style of golf. I'm intrigued. It should be a great, great tournament. Once again, picks. Top 20, Victor Hovland, Robert McIntyre, who I fixed his spelling, Tommy Fleetwood, and then my winner to win the 2026 Open is Rory McIlroy. If you guys haven't subscribed, please do. Please subscribe to the YouTube channel. Road to 7,000 continues. And if you prefer the audio version, Apple Podcasts and Spotify, those links are in the description. Social media. Follow us on Talking Sports PD on X and on Instagram. NFL season. It's July right now. Middle of July. NFL season's right around the corner. And you know what that means? Our top 10 player rankings are coming out. They'll be coming out at the end of July, early August, leading into the NFL season. So I can't wait for that. That should be a great one. And obviously, stay tuned for our college football content. Stay tuned for our NFL content. Maybe an NBA free agency. I'm going away next week, so we'll see how it happens. I'm waiting for LeBron to sign, but we'll see if his schedule aligns with my schedule, which obviously doesn't really matter, but we'll see if that comes out. This is it for golf. After this, we're kind of moving towards the football and then obviously college football and the NFL, and then obviously MLB playoffs and all that kind of stuff in the start of the NBA season. And I know it just ended, but yeah, last golf podcast for the year, moving towards football in the coming weeks. Make sure you guys stay on social media for us, all on Instagram and on X. Like, comment, and subscribe. Enjoy the Open. It should be great. It's always interesting. It's always fun to watch because it's different. We're not used to it. But enjoy the Open. My pick to win the 2026 Open is Rory McIlroy. We'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you.